the rest of your life. And so that's what I would encourage people to do who are on the fence about it, is to say, you know, let me give everything a shot and give it a real shot before I opt in for something like this, where we don't know for sure the long term outcomes. We are the experiment when it comes to this. And our body will do this naturally if we remove the crap and give it the proper nutrition, because that is how our body is supposed to function. We're supposed to get full when we've had enough real functioning nutrition that our body needs to do the processes and create everything that we need. And I'm almost done, and then we'll welcome Brett into the show. But that's really essentially the main thing that I would say is give the diet a try. There was one other thing that was in this article that I thought was good. But anyway, while I think of it, we will welcome Brett in here. So what are your thoughts about Ozempic? What do you think about weight loss drugs versus dietary intervention?
Hey, everybody. Sorry I was late. I was late getting home from work. But, yeah, I think these drugs like Ozempic, I don't see how really they got approval to be used. What that stuff does to your body, and the cost. I was in a chat earlier with Carrie with Homestead How, and someone had wrote in to him and said that they tried Ozempic before Carnivore. They spent $10,000 on Ozempic and they lost 30 pounds. $10,000 for 30 pounds. That's insanity. I don't know what it costs a month. I think it's more than $1,000 a month. But for what that does to your body and the little benefit that you might get from it, yeah. And we don't even know what the long-term effects of Ozempic are going to be. You know, it's messing up people's digestive system permanently. I don't think it's not doing that to everyone, but I think there's probably going to end up being some lawsuits, I think.
I think it's worth remembering how Ozempic and the other GLP-1 drugs came about, because they're a treatment for type 2 diabetes. And if you have type 2 diabetes, you're on the road to, lots of serious health issues. And it was to treat those people. And now it's, like segued into a drug for weight loss. And obviously, having had the FDA approval, you can see how the pharmaceutical companies are going, well, this is just amazing because we've already got approval. And I don't think they had to get approval as a weight loss drug. That was it. It was already approved. And so it's now available to the general public. So it's worth remembering how it started and what it was actually for before we go, okay, this is like a miracle.
And I think this is where getting the message out that type 2 diabetes is a highly curable condition. I think that'll help, at least maybe help people think twice before going on a drug, and maybe trying something as simple as a diet change before they take something that could affect them long term.
I just had lunch with a dear friend who is a type 1 diabetic, and she was telling me about her father, who was a type 2 diabetic, and some of our friends are type 2s. And we had a little discussion. She's not a carnivore, but she knows I am. She doesn't quite understand it because she knew I was keto, and she wants to know what's the difference. So it's hard to fill her in on all the information because you can't, throw it all up on one person in one lunch. But she believed that type 2 diabetics is like type 1, that it's inherited and there's nothing you can do about it. And you have to follow the ADA's advice, get a continuous glucose monitor if you have to, and make sure you take your insulin. And I said to her, type 2 diabetes is not, It is not genetic like type 1 is. You can go into remission for the rest of your life by diet. And she shook her head and said, no, you can't. Like that. If she thinks that, a lot of people must believe just the word diabetes. There's a lot of education that needs to be done out in the public. And if they only knew that all you have to do is change your way of eating and cut out all the carbs and sugar, your body will bounce back. Your A1C will come down. Your hormone levels will go back to normal. If you're a type 2, you go into remission. It happens for everybody who is a type 2 diabetic. It takes time. Some people, it takes maybe up to a year to lower their A1C to normal levels, but everybody can do it if they're type 2. And you were talking, Brett, about the person paying $10,000 to lose 40 pounds or whatever. And as soon as you said that, I thought, well, if you go on a ketovore or carnivore way of eating and you lose 40 pounds, how much money are you saving, actually? Like, it's the exact opposite. You're losing the weight and you're actually gaining money because you're spending less money at the grocery store and you're feeling better. And so going back to the education, I really do believe it's an education curve with the public. There's a lot of misinformation and myths, a lot of myths that need to still be broken out there. We know the information. We kind of understand it because we're in this space. But there's a lot of people in the general world. This is a person who's a type 1 and she thinks type 2 is also genetic. Nothing you can do about it. I feel so bad for people who don't have the right information.
I feel like a lot of this is also about trust. And I just no longer trust. I don't trust the people who make the studies, who make the drugs, who write the prescriptions. I don't trust the agencies that approve these kinds of drugs, because there are drugs that are approved for use in people, but they won't let them be used to treat cancer. But this drug suddenly, oh, well, it's approved for humans, so we can use it however you want. Go ahead. You just go ahead and do that. What's going on here? Because one drug will cure you and you won't need it anymore. You won't need the industry anymore. And another drug will keep you on it for the rest of your life. I just don't trust any of those guys at all.
I agree with you. I think it's hard to trust them when you know the greed factor is in there. They don't want you cured. They want you cured just enough so that you keep coming back for more. You guys have seen the commercials on TV. If you watch any television, at least in the United States, it's barraging us. A lot of the medication commercials are Ozempic. But the song, they hijack the songs that we all knew and loved from the 70s and the 80s, and they reword it. And people, it's catchy, and people are trying it. I guess insurance is paying for it. Does anybody know that information? Are insurances paying for a large percentage of this $900 a month?
As far as I know, they are not.
They're
It's
not.
not covered by insurance.
Or is it only covered if you have type 2 diabetes and not for weight loss or something like that?
That I couldn't say. But the person I was talking about who spent $10,000 to lose 30 pounds, it was not covered by their insurance.
Wow.
But taking the diabetic medication like metformin and those drugs was.
They were, right.
Because it's cheap. But last night, I was on with John. We were talking about the expense, ways to save money. How much meat could you buy for $10,000?
Right.
You could feed yourself for a long time.
So I just got on to search. I typed in does insurance, and I got to the C for cover. And guess what came up as the most? Does insurance cover Ozempic? I'm not the only one who thought to look for that. That is the #1 search, so that's what popped up.
What did you read any further? What did it say?
It just says it depends on your insurance coverage. It's going to depend.
Yeah.
Wow.
It seems like it depends on what it's
seeing
prescribed
that-
for.
Yeah, I'm seeing that in this article that it's not, that Ozempic is not actually approved. What is it? What is the actual verbatim that it says? Ozempic is not approved for weight loss. However, semaglutide, which is what is the generic name, is approved for weight loss under the name Wegovy. Ozempic has a smaller dose of semaglutide than Wegovy. I think that's what you were talking about, John, how they're essentially the same thing, but they're just different
Yes,
amounts.
they
Is that correct?
reformulated it for weight loss, and then maybe insurance would cover it differently. I don't know. Monjaro is another one, and then there's another name. I forget what that one is. And they're actually more potent. So they're stronger than Ozempic because they're for weight loss. I heard, I forget which doctor, one of the doctors was talking about it that I listened to. And it's so scary. It's like Cammie said, I would not trust it, or because they don't have my best interest at heart. They just want my money.
Right.
I've heard of Ozempic face. I don't know if you've heard of that, where the face gets all bloated, and then there's muscle wasting. They weren't even in the side effects that I listed at the beginning of the show.
And I wanted to correct what I said earlier, because it's actually Wegovy that was, scrolling back up here, approved for people under 20, so kids, not Ozempic. But it says the weekly injection, Wegovy, share this tab instead. Okay. Won approval from the Food and Drug Administration on December 23rd for obese Americans under 20. Experts hailed it as a revolutionary change in obesity treatment and a welcome addition to their field. But more skeptical doctors warn that children could be rushed onto a medication with a price tag of more than $1,300 per month, as well as a host of side effects like we've discussed. So, yeah, it's not Ozempic technically, but it says children aged 12 through 19 who took the weekly injections lost an average of almost 15% of their body weight, about 34 pounds. In comparison, those who got placebo and nutrition and physical activity counseling gained 5 pounds. That's fascinating. Studies have shown that while Wegovy is highly effective at helping people shed pounds, users pile it back on just months after coming off the drug, and will at most will need to keep taking it forever to maintain their results. And that's the problem. That's the problem.
Yeah. And it actually says that in what you just had pulled up, that they don't know what the long-term effects are going to be. It said that on the in there.
Right, which is
Well,
terrifying when you're talking about giving it to kids, like especially.
Well, and that's their out. They're like, well, you knew we didn't know, and you took it anyway. So, sorry.
They are very good. They're very good at making everything sound wonderful and happy with music and everything. And then you've got that part of the commercial with that long list of side effects that they, of course, by law, to cover their ass, of course, they have to do that. They have to say that so that they can't get sued. And they're going to get sued because they're going to have, like you just said at the beginning, Nia, then the lawsuit companies, you're going to see the commercials. Have you been affected by Ozempic, Monjaro, or Wegovy? Please call this number. We will represent you. It's going to happen at any moment. It just will. Look at all the drugs that it's happened to already. Scary.
I just did a quick little calculation. I just saw on here Ozempic without insurance is $935.77 per month. Now, if you're an overweight 15-year-old and you go on it, and you're on it from 15 to 85, so your whole life, 70 years. Any guesses at how much that is a month for 70 years? 7 million.
7 million.
So it's a Rolls Royce for the president of whatever company. That's what it is.
$7.86 million.
And the companies have figured that out. That's why they're doing this. They know they're going to get, and they're getting millions of dollars now.
But it's way more than that. If you had invested $900 a month in the stock market or anywhere, you would be the millionaire, not them.
Exactly. And honestly, I hate to be that way. I hate to think like that, but that's how it is, and like if that's like that is always my gut reaction to things like this. And then I try to like pedal myself back and be like, no, they probably do care about people, blah, 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 and it's like, no, they really don't. And that's what blows my mind. That's what just, yeah, blows my mind about all of this. It's like, I remember those commercials from when I was a kid, just like watching. And before I feel like back then they even like talked a little bit slower when they said the side effects and stuff like that. But it's like, all right, how many more of these things, these too good to be true, magic pills, magic shots, all this stuff are we going to have to go through before we wake up and realize, like you're saying, we can't trust people that legitimately don't care whether any of us live or die, or how much we suffer. Like there's no, it's just not, it's not even like there's no decision in my opinion. And I hate to be like that because I do think, okay, the exception could be somebody who understands like everything we've just said. Here are the side effects. You're going to be on it for the rest of your life. You essentially can't come off it. You're going to have to pay for it, or you're going to have to, stick with whatever insurance company is going to pay for it, whatever. Even if, and like, I think John, you brought up, or one of you brought up about getting adequate nutrition on here. Because if you get on this and you start feeling full, fake full all the time, and you stop eating, but when you do eat, you eat Oreos and drink Diet Mountain Dew and, all this French fries cooked in seed oil and all this stuff, even if you lose weight, you're still going to be poisoning yourself, and that will lead to a host of other problems. And so, like, if you're somebody who knows all of that and is okay with that and just wants to try to lose 50 pounds to, for whatever, then fine. I think adults are adults and you should be able to make your own choice. But like we've been talking about, I don't think people really understand all of this and don't take the time to look into it because of the way we market things and because we're only one of 2 countries on the entire planet Earth that allows pharmaceutical companies to advertise on major news networks and advertise on major news,
What's the other
or
country?
TV
I'm
stations
curious.
and things like that. New Zealand.
Oh,
United
really? I
States
didn't
and New
know.
Zealand are the
Wow.
only 2 countries that whose governments allow pharmaceutical companies to advertise like that. And so we know here again, the connection, right? All the major news people, like they're sponsored by these companies, And so it's not even just about our health and how many people make money off of this weight loss drug. It's like that whole thing is influencing all the other stuff we hear about, And so anytime you follow the money on something like that and you start to see all of this stuff is connected, it just makes me not want to support it, period. Like, like even if I thought, oh, maybe that would be helpful for me in the short term to get to this, it's like, no, screw all of you, I'll do it myself and I'll do it better and for less. And then, take that, like it just like puts a fire under my butt to be like, no, I'm going to be as independent as I possibly freaking can because I don't trust any of you.
Yeah. So
either.
Nia, you're apologizing over there for your tinfoil hat while I'm making tinfoil clothing. I'm making dresses and shirts and pants and like all over tinfoil. But
Okay.
I wanted to talk for a second. I wanted to talk for a second about, I don't know, this idea of skipping the hard work. Like winning the lottery. People who win the lottery, they end up losing all that money because they have not built in the habits of how to earn money, how to save money, how to turn it into profit, how not to spend it. If you want to learn to play the piano, there's nothing that will get you to that point other than doing it every single day. And the same thing with regaining your health. We have slowly lost our health through all this lies and misinformation and bad choices that we've made. But the regaining of the health has to come the same way. We have to be patient and we have to work hard. Life is designed to be hard work because hard work is good for us. It's really good for us to try and work hard on things. And if you just skip that part, I think you're cheating yourself. And maybe before I wouldn't have said that because I didn't know how to get these results and it just seemed too hard. But now I know. And so now I want to share and now I'm excited and I have no fear of telling somebody, you can leave that crap alone because there is an answer over here that will help you. Come to this side. Come join me.
We have cookies. Come over here.
Yes.
No, I totally agree with you. A point that I made at the very beginning, I want to elaborate on. I agree with you 1000%, Cami. For people who are 400, 500 pounds overweight, morbidly obese, the people who can't get out of the house anymore, and there are a lot of people like that. They did it to themselves, yes. They don't have the education or the knowledge that we're talking about. They feel like they've tried everything. They can't break that habit of whatever is making them that way. They have type 2 diabetes. They have so many other issues with their body. Taking Ozempic to start to curb their appetite with an education program and an exit point to get off of Ozempic and then let your diet take over, it could be used that way. But of course they won't make any money if it's only, advertised that way. But I think it can be a benefit for people who are ready to die from morbid obesity. They're almost there. This could save their life and turn them down. But they've got to go into a program and a plan and agree to start eating correctly. And otherwise you don't get the medicine. So it can be like a starting for somebody with all the side effects and everything, but of course, what we're talking about is people who are 30 pounds overweight and want to lose weight. They go to the doctor and they get Wegovy. I mean, big, bad mistake there. What are you guys' thoughts on 400, 500, 600 pound people using this as a starter with a plan and education just to get them off the deathbed and rolling in the right direction, and then you take them off of it?
Limitless Lindy is in the comments. Let's ask her.
All right, Limitless Lindy.
Yep, I popped her comment up earlier. Lost 500 pounds on a carnivore diet and saved enough money for a deposit for a brand new car from all the savings of not eating processed food or carbs.
Thank you.
So, but I mean, I agree with you, John. I think that, and that's what I was sort of alluding to when I put my tinfoil hat back on, was that, I think there again, like if you are in a position where, you're struggling extremely hard and you are, morbidly obese, like this could be fatal within a year, or something like that, where you're on a time frame and this is severe, then I think medications can be helpful. But like you said, it has to come with the knowledge that, hey, this isn't a forever thing. This is like a Band-Aid to kind of help get things going, and then but the lifestyle has to change in order to maintain that and to be healthy moving forward.
Yeah, I think you've got to go eyes wide open, don't you? You've really got to understand what all the risks are, and then you've also got to be at a point where you can be honest about what you've been doing. What's actually got you to this particular point of view. Is your mental state? Do you need help with that? I think a lot of people get into a state where they're just stuck where they are and they just want to die and they're just waiting for that to occur. There has to be some sort of movement. And I think if you've done that, I understand what all the risks are and I understand how I got to this point, I'm getting some help with that. I think if you're doing all those things, I think a lot of people would go, okay, well, I'm good. I'm just going to change my diet and do that. But maybe there's some that just need that little bit extra. But my concern is that they're really preying on vulnerable people here who are, because of what they're eating, they're always consistently in a brain fog. They've effectively dropped their IQ by 50 points and they just can't think. They just can't get themselves out from under that cloud. And they're the people who are being, preyed on. And that really worries me. So I think you've really got to go in with your eyes wide open as much as you can and get to the point where at least you can think clearly.
Yeah, I always thought the point of medication was to get off of it, to help you through something, and then you don't need it anymore because you healed from it, and it helped you achieve that. But unfortunately, with drugs like this, where they're putting it on you for life, that genie's kind of already out of the bottle. But if somebody wanted to come up with a drug like this to use for people in desperate situations, and the drug was marketed that way, and doctors were told to only use it that way, sure, I'd be okay with somebody trying something to save their life, where they haven't been able to do anything else. But to put a drug like this out on the market, that anybody, even children, can be put on is, it's not good.
Yeah,
But,
and I think oh, go ahead.
but that's where we come in. We're all getting trying to get a message out. We're not selling drugs. We're just pushing a lifestyle, something to try, something that has helped us that might help you too. And hopefully someone who's overweight and is considering Ozempic hears our message first. And that's a win for us and for them.
Right. I agree. And I wanted to share this as well. This doesn't help when we have people who have a ton of influence, who again are sort of in this category of like, we got 10 pounds to lose, or we got 30 pounds to lose, and maybe some of these people, it's like they've already done all these weird, trendy diets or whatever like that. Right. And they've got a lot of influence, and, people trust them. And then you have people, going, oh, and saying, okay, well, these people did it. And so that means it'll work for me and it must be fine. And I don't know, I haven't read this one yet. So maybe some people are talking out or, speaking out against it. We'll see here. But, that's something that I don't think we can ignore either, is a lot of these things get spread when, you see somebody that like and trust as a celebrity or somebody else, and then you think, oh, well, it must be safe, right? Because my favorite singer is using it, or my favorite actor is using it, and yeah, Kelly Clarkson saying she did not reveal the drug that she was taking when she talked to Whoopi Goldberg about it, but explained that the medication is something that aids in helping breaking down the sugar as her body doesn't do it right. Well, and this is kind of what we're saying. It's like, well, we don't need to eat the sugar, period. The body will handle its own sugar just fine. It will create sugar if it needs sugar. We don't have to eat it.
That's one of the myths, though,
that's
is
the
that a lot
problem.
of people think that we have to have carbs, that you can't survive without carbs. I hear that constantly. So they believe it. And I really think education with the proper information needs to get out there more. The general public is very misinformed about nutrition.
Right. I
Also,
completely agree.
our message isn't as sexy as their message, right? Their message is take this drug, you will lose weight, everything will be wonderful. And ours is, guys, it's going to take some time and patience and discipline and restraint and being different from everybody that you know and love. We're not as tempting.
Yeah, when you can sell a drug and say you can keep eating everything you've always eaten. But I think one of the long-term effects we're going to see with people on because even though they may not be overweight, their endocrine system is being, still inundated with all of that sugar and carbs and processing, and they can still get the fat around their organs, and non-alcoholic fatty liver syndrome. And they're going to need another pill to fix that. So,
And they'll have another pill for that. And then they'll have another pill for that other pill, because it's all about that for them. It's the industry. They're making so much money selling drugs. It's really frustrating. That's why we're all on here, and that's why we all have YouTube channels, because we're trying to get the correct message out. What is the proper human diet, and what can it do for you? And it can do everything GLP-1 can do for you, because you're giving it to yourself, and it's healthy and everything's stable. But they don't have that message. How can we get that message out? Well, Carrie's video is going to help with that. We get the worldwide message out with this Healing Humanity video. We just need more messages about the correct information to compete with the magic pills. Because it is tempting to just say, oh, I could just take a pill. I could be like Oprah and lose weight.
I think it'd be great if someone, with enough influence and backing could start a television commercials for Carnivore. No, we won't be able to really sell anything, but just putting the idea out there.
Yeah, public service announcements like Smokey the Bear, right? We
need like PSAs and get them out in front of people. Street billboards on the highway.
Crowdfunded or something. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I read a comment on somebody's channel, and in the comment it said, yeah, I bet this guy's taking money from Big Beef. Like the beef industry is giving us money. I'm like, do they do that? Can they call me?
Where's my money?
Yeah, I'll take the sponsorship. I even heard Sean Baker talking about this. I mean, probably a year back, where he was saying like he's been trying to get funding from like the American beef people or whatever to like do some research, right? And be like, we would be open about it. It's like, yep, it was funded by Big Beef, but we just want somebody to care enough to like, do a study, because nobody wants to actually see any research on this. I think was it you, Darth Carnivore? Somebody brought up in the very beginning about like, let's put a study out there, Carnivore versus Ozempic, and we'll compare the two population. Take people that are the same, same BMI or same, have similar health conditions, and 6 months, see what happens. But people don't want that. They don't want to pay for that. They don't want to fund that, because they know what the truth is, and that's what we're all talking about. And so it's like, it's up to us. It's up to us to choose, like Cami, you were saying, choose the hard thing. Why? Because you'll get the reward from that, and the reward from doing something difficult and having a positive outcome is like literally the juice of life. You know what I mean? And then spreading that information and helping somebody else do the same thing, and supporting someone else and coaching them through it, and be like, no, you can do this. I believe in you, and like passing this on. That's what's going to change the world. That's what's going to really change people. And when you go through that process on your own, where you lose the weight by doing diet and lifestyle modification, and you go through the struggles and you slip up and you get back on the horse and you continue no matter what happens, and you get the result, it's like, how much more confidence you have. They talk about sort of these factors to obesity, and things like low self-esteem and low self-worth, and all these things that contribute to people getting into that position in the first place. And it's like, you can reverse all that crap too. You know what I mean? You'll actually believe in yourself and have confidence again, because you went through that and you did something difficult, and you conquered something that was controlling you. And that's why I love this so much, is because you don't just get the weight loss. You don't just get even like the mental health benefits and, give up your addiction and stuff like that. But it actually increases your confidence as a competent human being. and it teaches you that you can do other difficult things, and it's inspiring to watch who people turn into when they do that, and so that's why I would say again, like, go for the hard thing because it's worth it. It's worth it to go to bed at night when you're alone and be like, I'm proud of me. I'm proud of myself, me personally, for beating alcohol. You know what I mean? And sometimes I have to remind myself of that. It's like, I never thought I would be able to do that long term, and not be like thinking about it all the time and blah, blah, blah. But it's like, you just gotta, you can do it. And so there, that's all I
Yeah.
have to say.
That's
That
what
sounds
I
like
say
a
to
great
myself.
commercial.
Every once in a while, I see
Keep
myself in the
going.
mirror and I'm like, look at me. I am doing this. I am doing this. I'm so proud of me. Yeah, it's awesome.
That's beautiful. It's so true. It's so true. I have confidence today that I never had before in myself. And my moods are so stable now, where I had a lot of depression, the whole list of things I told you in that interview, Nia. I mean, it's not just weight loss. People also only think it's for weight loss, eating properly and prepper lifestyle. You are rewarded with life, with such a full life in so many different ways when you nourish your body. It's, you can't stop smiling.
Great to hear.
That's something we can say that the people at AstraZeneca can't is, our way will not only help with type 2 diabetes, but it'll help with high blood pressure, PCOS, anxiety, all these different things. I mean, and we keep finding out more things as we go on. Like Carnivore Scott was just on here, and he reversed a liver condition
Wow.
that they told him was irreversible. He's talked about that on his channel. So, it's just one more thing. And I think the longer we keep doing this, the more benefits we're going to keep finding and keep discovering. And it's just going to make our message that much stronger.
Absolutely. Well, we are 4 minutes past the hour, so already that went by fast. And so, if anybody needs to jump out immediately, now's your opportunity. Otherwise, we'll just
Thank you.
kind of.
Thanks for putting this
gotta go.
on, Nia. I got to
Yeah,
roll.
thanks for joining us.
I'm going to head out here.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you, Rod.
Yeah, likewise. Have a good day,
All right,
everyone.
I'm going to head out here too. Thank you, Nia. Appreciate it. Very good topic tonight, and wonderful comments from our viewers too.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks to you both. Okay, and then there were 3. I mean, I figured we could just kind of wrap up. Any final thoughts, or I didn't see any questions specifically come through. A lot of great comments. Again, a lot of people supporting each other, and yeah, lots of great points going on in the comments. But do you guys have anything else you want to say?
Well, I just
No?
wanted to say if you are someone who's watching this and you don't know what to do, you don't know the path forward, give Carnivore a try. Seek out some groups. I've been working with the Steak and Butter Gang, trying some different things for me and getting some coaching. So we're all here, and there's so much good free information available online on all these YouTube channels. And before you cash in that prescription pad at the pharmacy for a drug that may cost you in the long run, give our way a try first.
Agreed. I definitely think the more we can get this message out there, the more people may stumble upon it, and give it a try before they're stuck on this. Or maybe somebody's on the drug right now and thinks, hey, maybe this can help me get off of it, and so that could also happen, which is totally a possibility. So Ellie says, question, why are you all so awesome? Just a cheeky compliment. So thanks, Ellie.
She's awesome too.
Yes, you're awesome too. Okay, awesome. Well, thanks everybody for being here tonight. All my panelist guests and everybody in the chat. You guys are awesome. And of course, if you're watching the replay, thank you for watching as well. And leave us your thoughts in a comment if you want to. We'll be back again next Thursday with another episode with a different topic. I'm doing my best. I need to get these polls out earlier in the week because I've been like busy the past couple weeks and I'm like scrambling at the end of the last 2 days before to like get all my stuff done. So I'm going to do better. I'm going to get out a question to you guys earlier. So more of you have time to respond and everything. So anyway, we will see you soon for another episode. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.